This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
We are out here today with our beautiful model, Asha, and we're shooting with the brand new 35mm F1.4 G Master lens. To find out, does this pack the same punch in such a small package?
Like this?
Exactly.
I've been looking forward to this lens for a very long time. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that 35mm is my favorite focal length to shoot portraits with. While the forever popular Sony Zeiss 35mm F1.4 lens has been my go-to workhorse, this new G Master is putting up quite the fight. The lens costs $13.99 USD, which is $200 less than the Sony Zeiss at $15.99. This lens features a maximum aperture of f1.4, which is amazing for achieving that super buttery background. It also makes the photos feel a lot more intimate, even at a semi-wide focal length. The body of the lens itself features a focus hold button, which can be programmed to do pretty much anything. There's also an aperture declicker switch, which is great for when you're filming on the fly and changing apertures while recording. There are 11 aperture blades on this lens, which is 2 more than the Zeiss. This helps to create a more well-rounded bokeh shape in the background. It also has a minimum focus distance of only 10.6 inches, so I can achieve some really cool close-ups, especially at 1.4.
And then just move it around a little bit naturally and I'll just keep shooting. Lean into it, exactly.
G Master lenses are always extremely sharp, and this lens is no exception. With 14 elements in 10 groups, this lens achieves super sharp photos. I was at f1.4 for the majority of this shoot, and with the eye autofocus of the Sony a7 III, getting tack-sharp focus on Asha's eyes was a breeze. And when looking back at these photos on my computer, you can really see how sharp they are. One thing that's really important to me, especially with smaller lenses, is the autofocus speed.
So we weren't actually planning on doing any tests while we were out shooting, but we just did a few little walk-through shots, and from what I can see in camera, it looks like every single photo is in focus so far, so the autofocus is doing a great job.
In this example, I had Asha walk towards the camera to see how the autofocus would react to a change in distance from the subject. And it nailed focus on almost every shot. In this next example, we had Asha spin in place to see how the lens would react to her face or eye leaving the frame. As you can see, the moment her eye was out of sight, the lens and camera immediately picked up the back of her head as the focal point, and then went to focus somewhere around her shoulders.
You enjoying this video? Cool. Couple things I'm gonna ask you to do then. 1, maybe subscribe to my channel. 2, listen to me talk about Squarespace for a minute. Thanks. I used Squarespace to make my website. I legitimately did, even before they paid me to do this ad. The template I chose was clean and stylish, and I literally built it myself. I really struggle with design, but Squarespace made it super easy for me to showcase my portfolio beautifully. The platform is super easy for me to customize, update regularly, and I can get analytics about the purchases made on my digital products through my online store. And I run my own business, so I don't have time to learn a whole new platform. All right, so head over to Squarespace for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, you can use this code right here to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks, Squarespace. Now back to the video.
Biggest thing I'm noticing so far is obviously the size. This is a great form factor. Now paired with my a7 III, this is something I could take out daily or on a professional shoot, so I am really, really loving this setup.
This new G Master lens weighs in at 1.1 pounds and measures in at 2.99 by 3.78 inches. Although this doesn't mean much until you actually have it in your hands. I can tell you from experience that the weight and size of this lens does in fact make a difference. I wouldn't say it was incredibly lightweight, but it was very comfortable to shoot with. The low size and weight while maintaining high image quality is clearly the biggest selling point of this lens. It's smaller and lighter than any other lens at this level, which by its own right makes it a better option in my opinion. If you were shopping for a 35mm lens, you would most likely be comparing this new 35 G Master with the 35 Zeiss, and potentially the 35mm Sigma. No, this video obviously wasn't a comparison, but from my experience with all three lenses, I have a few key takeaways. If price is your top priority, I would lean towards the Sigma, as it only costs half the amount of the new Sony G Master, but it's also the largest, both in size and weight, and the quality doesn't quite stack up to the Sony native lenses. If size and quality are most important to you, then the new G Master is for you. And if you just love Zeiss for the sake of it being a Zeiss, then get that. However, from my years of experience with it, I can safely tell you that your precious Zeiss has more chromatic aberration in the photos. Now, if you already own the Zeiss, I don't see a big reason to switch. But if you're in the market for a new 35mm lens, then we definitely give our seal of approval on the new G Master.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We are completely freezing, so we are now going to go back inside. If you like this video, please give it a like down below, subscribe if you're not already, and don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified when we post all future videos. And that's it. My hands are literally lobster fingers. Goodbye.